Hello and welcome to another Forge Alliance Servercast. I'll be your host Swkoll, and today we're casting a Galactic war game between a Cybran and a UEF. This game happened a little while ago, but I didn't have time, so I think we'll get around to casting it now. It is between Node, Klosky, Bidev, and Private Jason Producer. I'm just going to call you Private and Node. Private has brought in 5 T1 PDs with him, as per the planetary defenses bonuses you can get, and he'll be going for a fairly slow first bomber. Meanwhile, the top, our Node, will be going for a much more standard build. Going land factory, getting that quantum gateway beacon, 5 P-gens, second land, all that stuff that you would typically do on this map. Let's see, is he going to get that Hydro anytime soon? But with a very aggressive Hunter's Mole, looking to go around and protecting the right side of the map. Maybe trying to pick off an NG going to reclaim these rocks here. Jason with no NGs yet so far, getting that bomb route, looking to destroy the quantum gateway beacon is really the typical strategy that players use nowadays, or one of them. Just the bomber comes out, destroys his beacon before any reinforcements can show up. We'll see if Jason can successfully do that. Jason getting his own reinforcements right now. He's bringing in a single Titan. And the tech transport due to a bug will stay on the map. Just in a huge deal. Node seeing the air scout, builds 2 Tech 1 AAs. Bomber comes in, kills the quantum gateway beacon, preventing any transports from coming in for a short while. Bomber going to make a second pass. What will it hit? Second pass goes after power, after pretty much killing what it came to kill. Due to a slight glitch, Node rebuilt the beacon as quickly as he could, and the timer continued, and he brought in his Loyalist a little later. Titan Loyalist will meet in a field of battle. Titan has a little disadvantage early game because that 25 power that it takes to run the shield is actually quite expensive. Though with a bit of veterancy, that can be fixed. And Titan are just going to run away from that Loyalist. Trying to clean up this Mantis because there are no land units on the field yet from Private Jason. Although the 5 T1 PDs certainly proving their worth. Node with some nice expansion. 2 expanding engineers. Get him out of flak. 3 land factories up. Jason with an idle ACU. Possibly thinking about what he should build next. And then a terrible mistake. Node gets a little too close. Gets killed by T1 PDs. But no, just gonna go ahead, getting a decent power sim with the ACU, getting his land factories up. All the normal times you'd see a player do it. This is pretty aggressive. You can do that because you don't have to have too many expanding engineers. And the Titan, with no actual opposition other than the ACU, is now able to do whatever it wants. That's a weird sound glitch. I wonder what's causing that. And both players choosing to resume their air spam. Of course, Private has to keep his Titan safe versus an ACU. Do we have a power storage yet? Energy storage is under construction, but a large T1 land force bearing down on this base. The T1 PD is keeping it quite safe, and significant tacking from Private Jason. Already has 2 mexes at minute 5, working on his 3rd. He's going to retreat against these tanks and Titan. Wait until he has a bit more numbers. ACU with this would be quite deadly. Of course, these units can't run in directly because of the sheer massive T1 PDs that exist. So Private Jason just doing very defensive turtley play, trying to get T1 mexes up in this expansion. Does not have map control, but he has a nice mass advantage due to all that teching. Meanwhile, our Node going to go with gesture spam, a very powerful tactic on Galactic War. Speaking of powerful tactics, I'd like to mention Zlo has been doing a big series on Galactic War. He's got lots of gameplays and a few casts. You should totally check him out. He's got a fantastic subcom channel, totally underwatched, in my opinion. I'll put a link in the description. So we have our node just gonna build his hydro, do that usual stuff, build up his Tech 1 land army. He's in an awkward position because he doesn't really know what to do against all these T2 mexes and heavy turtle play against its Titan. So one obvious answer is to go T2 land. T2 land, of course, gets you the missile launchers, which can take out the T1 PD from a safer distance. Also tactical missile launchers that take out the mexes from long range, as well as rhinos that can do some damage versus the Titan. Titan getting its shield on, doing some nice dodging against the Mantis, but Mantis coming in on the bottom, doing an important raid, taking out T1 mexes, forcing the Private to work off only 4 mexes in his base. Getting energy storage is now up as he scouted the T2 land. Yep, he knows it's occurred. Rhino choice unit, very effective against Titans, and is not too bad against T1 land. Private Jason going to do a semi-exploitative thing and reclaiming the transport that forgot to leave. And Mantis sneaking around the back of the base. This could prove deadly if they can kill those energy storages. Private Jason coming in, Tech 2 transport, firing, and a focus fire takes down 2 energy storages and 2 P-gens. Meanwhile, Titan in the fight, losing his shield quite fast, has to pull out. 16 kills on the Titan, nice vet. And again, the Mantis force will retreat. Jason getting his power storages back up. Not too much checking from Node. Continued inti spam. T2 land, hopes to win it out with this. And Private gonna send his army very defensively into his base, capping his mexes now. Get that extra mass income, because he has absolutely no map control. Meanwhile, Node gonna try to grab this map control that Jason cannot control for himself. More and more rhinos on the field. Looking at this army composition, we're seeing 4 rhinos, 30 Mantis, and 10 T1 Arties. Mantis probably not the most useful unit in the world right now. Though these rhinos can do absolutely amazing things. One of my favorite units since the last patch. Titan continues to advance, now with 18 kills. But rhinos significantly just hurting that T1 land army, or these T1 land army. Words. So Node gonna go ahead and do some teching of his own. Seeing his map control, he can tech and spam at the same time. Behind in the teching, but ahead in the mass game. Surprisingly equal on the ecos. Though no really turtle breaking units yet. We haven't seen any missile launchers to attempt to snipe these T2 mexes. No tactical missiles. But air control firmly in the hands of the Node. Bomb comes off, we'll be able to take out the radar. A single cyber bomb takes it out. Titan now back to full health yet again, trying to retreat out of there. Trying to get behind T2 PD going up. Securing the border even more. Excellent micro on this Titan, keeping it at range. But so many rhinos. Titan losing its shield, going down very, very low. Down to 800 health, but T2 PD now up and unstunned. Nice overcharges from Jason, takes out T2 Mantis groups, Rhino groups, and the T2 PD stand to live another day. No flak to prevent any air snipes, which is always a viable option. And as soon as he sees those T2 PD going up, the Viper missile launchers are coming up, and the Viper absolutely evil against UEF. UEF TMD can't do crap against it. Just so powerful. Especially with its splitting missile. It'll kill your TMD. UEF really don't have a response against that, except to go kill it, which is always a very viable option. So now it's successfully securing map control. Big mass income. Getting that TML up a bit late. He could have gotten it maybe minute 12, but minute 14 is definitely okay as well. And now that Jason thinks the front is secure, he'll move out, exploiting the fact that the mole missile launchers are in quite small numbers currently. Getting a bit of TMD up to slow them down. TMD will only win if you're willing to spend more mass on it than your opponent is on TML. Just a single engine gun finishing that T2 power. And nice little attack. Takes out this position. Falls back. And Jason, playing with death right now. Toying with death. Tries to get some nice overcharges off. What can he get? He does not have gun, so the range is going to be at a significant disadvantage. Any good overcharges? Kills 2 rhinos. Damages more. Titan's brought in. T2 point defenses now in range. It's an absolute massacre. Losing most of his rhinos in a nice field of mass yet again. Appearing for Private Jason. But now under fire from tactical missiles and mole missile launchers, the TMD is just completely overloaded, losing those T2 maxes. Losing his T2 PD. Titan trying to keep them at bay, 36 kills. But Viper is just so far back. And with only like a Titan and 2 tanks, it's going to be hard pressed to keep it alive. Rebuilding mechs just directly to Tech 2, sparing no expense to keep his eco alive. But more T2 mechs is getting sniped. Titan's trying to push back the Vipers, giving his TML the ability to shoot at the tactical missiles flying across the map. How much build capacity is on this? Decent amount. Also T2 power from our node. And Jason doing a bit of map control damage. The fact that these Mantis are coming around this side now. The Titan is able to force this group back. And Jason can continue his super artillery strategies, getting a T2 Rainer up in a safe-ish location. Bombers coming up. The T2 flak will prevent any T2 air rushes. And more tactical missiles coming in. Does he have enough TMD? He might. He almost has enough. It's not really cost effective for Node to continue firing at that T2 power gen if he only gets 1/3 of a missile off every time. Private Jason gonna respond with his own TML, rushing that up quite fast. Only a single TMD from Node, but T2 air now. Corsairs are now in production. There's lots of things you can snipe. Shieldless base. TML, I guess, scouted the TMD, control K'd that. And now with enough TMD, no damage to the T2 PGen going to be done. But massive T2 and T1 land armies, air control. Jason with 2 T2 PDs, 5 T1 PDs, and a Titan. It's not looking too good for Private Jason. Especially with all these Corsairs piling up. 3 Corsairs already around. He does build a shield. Trying to get T1 PGens around it to reduce the cost of that shield. He's just completely scrapped for power. Barely has enough. T1 PDs being forced out by the commander. Titan going to try to winnow out these groups of forces. Trying to bait them a bit in. Attempt at a wall. Isn't lasting very long. And 43 killed Titan. Now on the field. Trying to deal with both fronts at once. They can't do that. The shield's not going to hold on for long, especially with all those mole missile launchers around. Titan losing his shield almost immediately. And after 44 kills, eats a bunch of mole missile launchers to the face, going down very low, but all that regen from An amazing veterancy, certainly helping him now, especially now that Private Jason can produce multiple Titans. Going T3 land, his node scouted the T3 land. He has. So now with the T3 land, T3 already will manage to push these forces back. And this force accidentally getting a range of the T2 PD. Take a bit of fire from the T2 PD, not something you'd typically want to do. But the shield looks like it will hold at least temporarily as the Corsairs do pile up. 11 Corsairs it looks like. 12 Corsairs, many Corsairs. As the T3 already moves out. Looking at the range of that T3 already can hit just about anything that comes close to the base. Jason trying to build more defenses. Multiple Titans now out. Though unfortunately it looks like our original Titan has fallen in battle, forcing this group of T2 back. UEF T3 already not the best, not the worst, but the Corsairs are coming in. Initial target is the ACU. ACU goes down quite low. Nice dodge. T2 power going low as well, but all the flak in the world dispatches most of those Corsairs that are flying right next to each other. All that AoE. New target looks like to be the power. They do take it out along with the TMD, but the shield goes up temporarily. Jason stays alive, and all those Corsairs do perish. 12 kills, 7 kills. There's so much T2 flak here. It's kind of ridiculous. Trying to rebuild that T2 power now at a power disadvantage. But the Corsair snipe has failed, and now lots of mass all over the place for Private Jason in his base. Corsair production going to continue. T3 land now being rushed up. Realizing he can't win against Titans with just Rhinos, and the shield's going down at the worst possible time. Titans need their shields to survive, and that's just not going to... They're just going to perish. T2 P-Gen comes up. Power problems should be solved now, but they're just trying to retreat. There are T2 and T1 point defenses here, so push isn't exactly possible. This is a very defensive turtle. The T3 already keeping its distance. Jason's still having power problems. Zico's been resolved. And just this factory going to go constant air scout production. This is a nice thing you can do late game. If you don't need the income too bad, you can invest 5 mass per tick into knowing exactly what your enemy's doing at all the time. Though with this flak placement, that's not going to go too far. Jason going to go ahead, getting T3 on the comm. He has access to T3 engineering suites, but that health is always nice. Building with the commander, that was a very fun thing to do. Titans moving out. Should be able to go on the first attack in about 20 minutes, or ever, for Private Jason. Corsair's taking out Titans now. Can they get far enough to deny the map control? Probably. As T2 flak is being redirected to fight the Corsairs. Corsairs notoriously bad air-to-air combat. Jason just still trying to get that T3 on his comm. And the Cybran Trebuchet artillery is now online. Very powerful weapon. Huge AoE and splash. But this single inti with 8 kills... Is that a 4-star inti? It is, because it killed the Corsair and got all those veterancy points. This is a nice inti. Beautiful hits with the T3 already. 2 loyalists now in the front. Percy production is underway. This force is going to have to respect the T3 already, which is now shooting at scouts in the base. Brick production now from Node. Realizing that Percy's on the field, he'll need his bricks to fight back against that. And Stealth already, very powerful weapon, as well as Stealth Brick. I mean, what? Node's blending just a bunch of bricks with a few T3 already thrown in for good measure. Node with a decent mass advantage at this point. T3 upgrade still underway. And the Titan just gonna eat all of that T1 artillery shots. All those T1 artillery shots. And a nice attack, killing the stealth Artie that would have put his brace under a lot of pressure. Now gonna be able to go out, raid some mechs, possibly kill the T2 mechs. But on this front, Percy not doing entirely well. Managing to do some damage, but no kills yet. Percy very good against high-tech units, but not much else. Whereas Brick is more versatile. Though was still killed mass for mass by the Percy. That's his real weakness. Titan's managing to kill the T2 mechs. Not going to do too much eco damage, but these loyalists coming in. Titan's trying to go somewhere, completely surrounded. Brick's coming in, and those Titans have to say their last words. As there's no hope left for them. No hope. Turning off the shield, T3 tech suite almost complete. We have a 5-star Inti flying around, denying air control. 13 kills. It will go down. Stealth Wreck now moving in on the position. More T2 power trying to come up. Stealth not working out too well. Power problems and air scouting. Percy's going to kite, giving respect to the Mantis Brick. Loyalist everything. Now with T3 already out here, and he's wishing he had mobile shields now, as the Cybrans are falling. Lots of engineers being brought out to confuse the artillery as well as reclaim the front. Another assault from Node. Not going to prove entirely fruitful. There's one Brick versus 2 Percys. Going to lead in there. But Percy's just doing a great job at taking out the single Brick. Percys can't one-shot a Brino now. That's interesting. Takes 2 shots. And a focus fire on that Brick will take it out. Make some much-needed veterancy for that Percival, keeping it alive. And the turtle grows larger. Multiple T2 P-gens, sporting 2k power. And beautiful artillery hits. Massive damage. 22 kills, 5 kills between the T3 artilleries. And now just incredible amounts of mass in this choke point for Private Jason to go recover. Node continues his bricks, reclaiming his T1 land factories, getting his mechs as 2 T3. Looks like air control might actually be in Jason's hands now. Only a single air factory producing scouts and inties for the whole game. Just gonna go ahead and reclaim some more Corsairs. Looking at Jason's reclaim number, up to 12,000. This is Node's 11,000, surprisingly. So Node's still managing to do some decent reclaim on the front. That's going to change once all this reclaim is recovered. 11,000 to 13,000. Burning mass. Teching mexes to T3. Gonna get that nice... Is that... Oh no. Don't tell me that's not bordering it directly. Can I... Oh, so close to that adjacency bonus. So close to getting all those cheap Percys. With only plus 30 mass at 30 minutes. Running everything completely off reclaim. Desperately trying to get those T3 mexes up. Both players, in fact, trying to do that. But somehow, Private Jason with the extra reclaim managing to get his T3 mex up faster. Though with the fact that it's not boring these T3 land factory, he can't build the mass storage, so... just a really annoying place to have that happen to you. So perhaps Jason couldn't take the mass lead yet again, despite no map control. T3 already continues. Mostly hitting the cliff, because it can't actually aim. It just kind of lobs AoE shots everywhere, and hopes to hit things. Whereas the UEF RD is a bit more precise. Nice scouting by both of these players. We had nice scout denial by both of them as well. But these artillery shots poised to do a lot of damage. The artillery is going down quite low. And just shields with Artie, so powerful in these types of situations. Shield coming on just in time to save that T3 Artie. And boom, the artillery does go down. More shells going to fall on the bricks and supporting units. So much flak, completely immune to Corsairs at this point in time. Just with so much power. What is he planning on doing? T3 power with only 47 mass. Of course, our node getting a bit mad at this point. It's such a hardcore UEF turtle. I do hope you understand, turtling is not an actually effective strategy on any map that isn't like this, right? I know, but I didn't know your reinforcements, so I had to. Fair enough. More T3 already shots falling. I lost this game when I threw away my loyalist. Quite possibly. Now it's just evolved into a stupid fest. Stupid fest. This is an epic turtle fest. Excuse me. Now with T3 power running all his shields. Each shield consuming 175 power. Although this one with some pretty sick adjacency bonuses. The T3 and T2 powers. Getting a stealth gen to confuse the T3 Arties. Although with this level of constant scouting, it's questionable whether it's actually worth it. So Jason with a nice healthy eco, what will he choose to spend it on? He's moving his commander out. No gun, no raz. Just a lot of build power. Commander has actually quite silly build power nowadays with the NG mod. 126, that was with 90 before in the previous patch. Buying himself the tactical comm missile incredibly quickly. This upgrade isn't actually cheap, but it's actually quite underused. Costs 1,000 mass. It can successfully tac missile some things occasionally, although TML definitely keeping everything alive in here. Would be interesting to see him try to TML the bricks or the T3 Arties. Was the TMD just doing an excellent job scouting, seeing the TMD. Not going to be too happy about that. And now Percy's moving out with flak. Excellent artillery shots. Taking down the loyalists. Actually, TMLing these might not be so smart because loyalists exist. Although, if the TML turned around, it would probably just hit this wall because the loyalists do reflect the TML at a much lower angle. So no, just gonna go ahead, get a spider. Multiple T3 mexes for him now. But not a lot of power. Is he power stalling? Yep. Much more power than that to build a spider. And we'll private Jason with massive amounts of TML. 6 TML launchers, trying to load them all with his comm. More artillery all over the place, taking out... Take one engineers, just... Huge AoE on that. It's kind of ridiculous. T2 gunships now being massed. Spider 20% done. 30% done, now pausing it to build additional TMD. firing 7 T-mails at once, 6 plus the comm. Can he manage to snipe anything? They all align and annihilate the TMD. So now his only power is actually vulnerable. But he needs additional T-mail if he's going to do that again. Get the range on these guys. They're actually pretty huge range on that. TMD, so this is probably pretty well protected. Did force the mass on that TMD though. And now TML is just going to be reclaimed. T3 point defense coming online. More shields. More craziness. Air control now in the hands of Node. He's now massing his... He stopped his Renegade production. Finishing up the Spider, now 53%. But can Private Jason take it? Let's see. 8 Percys. 3 T3 PDs. Lots of T1, T2 PDs all over the place. And lots of build capacity. Now going to go ahead and reclaim the T2 powers. Building more flax. Building more turtle. This is a rather impressive turtle. If I do say so myself. 1v1 turtling 101. Have your enemy feed you ridiculously. Also have Titan. Just look how fast you can build those T1 air factories now. And oh man, T3 artillery shells hitting the interceptors. It's brutal. But what is he going to build now? Jason can sit around doing whatever turtle he wants. Lots of build capacity on the Percivals and Arties now. Can he win it with that? Gunships coming in. Don't know what they plan to do. Looking at the T2 flak coverage. Pretty significant. Don't want to fly anything in there. And another brutal hit. And the T3 artillery sends all the inties flying. It's going all over the place. No respect. Spider's now out. Can he support the power to run the stealth? No, he can't. Doesn't matter too much. Not like he's Omni anyway. But can the Percys take it? The bricks going to come in and support. 6 T3 arties firing all over the place. More hits on the interceptors. Spider's going to take a few hits, retreating against the T3 arty at least temporarily, as more Percivals are amassed. Banks of TMD. We sense mass TML from Node as well, trying to do anything he can to break the turtle. 16 TMD is going to stop pretty much anything. Can stop a missile ship with 16 TMD, even if it is UEF. So Node a bit confused what to do with the Spider. He's now built it. He cannot directly attack Percival's under shield. Maybe the T-mail to break it. T-mail snipe getting more T2 power. Vastly behind in the power game. Still ahead in the mass game. But the turtles will continue. It's actually quite silly. I do assure you, these players are both in mid-level. Some of the plays have been a bit silly, but these are still pretty good players. I won't reveal their identities in the stake of classic Galactic War nonsense. The TMLs do come off. Multiple 6 TMDs prepared. Breaks the first shield. Damages the second. And the Spider moves in. Percivals are focus firing down that Spider. Bricks far away and behind it, taking down those Percys, but it's not enough. Trying to get in there close to trample, but it does perish. And now with Percys can take on the inferior brick numbers, along with all the artillery and support. And at this point, more TML going to be attempted. And that will be it for Node. Quitting the game. No GG. direct hits to his base, everything dead. That's been a pretty nice Galactic War game. Got some pretty interesting turtle play. So, in case any of you haven't heard, Galactic War is now open to everyone. You should totally go play it. It is fun. You should join UEF. Because reasons. It's a pretty cinematic shot. And with this, I will leave you. Thank you for watching, and good night.